Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with the cute, cuddly Skaven, gonna be taking on the High Elves, so let's get to the army compositions. I've got Lord Skrolk, of course, leading the way. Who else would we have if you're trying to survive with Skaven? He's got Liber Bubonicus and Rod of Corruption, of course. We've also got Vermintide and Wither, a Warlock Engineer. And I quite like to take this guy just with Howling Warpgale for insurance. He's also got the Warpstone armor so he can drain out units in melee. Gives him a bit of extra utility. And yeah, the Howling Warpgale, very good for locking down flying units. We've also got an Assassin here to round out the Heroic Core. We've also got a couple Storm Vermin, Sword and Shield, 2 Warp Lightning Cannons, one of which is already blasting some Reavers over there. Got some Clan Rat Spears, 4 of them, 3 Rat Ogres, 2 Skaven Slave Slingers, and a Gutter Runner Slinger as well. Been seeing these guys used quite a bit recently. They have quite a bit longer range than the Shuriken variant, but obviously they can't fire 360 while moving. But they do still have the poison in melee and at ranged, and they also have the snare nets as well. And that's pretty much it for my build. For my opponent, he's got set Illyrian Reavers, which just got a few models blasted out there. More melee Reavers over here. Flying force of Alariel Radiant with 2 Flamespire Phoenixes here. In terms of Alariel's spells, if we look what she's got here, looks like Arcane Unforging, Earthblood, Banishment, and Foz Protection, as well as all her items there. So pretty expensive kit, but all those spells are useful. We've got a couple Swordmasters of Hoeth, more Reavers, yeah, Spearman White Lions, and Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower for some counter battery fire. You can see right off the bat we're going to be opening up on the flying force here. After having taken a pot shot at those Reaver Archers, my opponent's going to do exactly what he should, which is to fly into the jungle here. The jungle will block some of the shots incoming, so it'll be much harder to hit. We're going to go ahead and turn our attention over to these Reaver Archers who have just come in range, and they're going to try and shoot at my Warp Lightning Cannon. This Warp Lightning Cannon, though, up on the hill has a pretty nice view, although they are shooting through the jungle here. And they should be able to connect on some shots there. Looks like, nope, they all got blocked by the jungle. That's great. This unit of Reavers, though, because of the formation, is going to get like 5 or 6 models hit per shot. And you can see immediately they just take some severe casualties. My opponent's going to pull them away. Meanwhile, these Reavers here had been mismicroed a little bit, so we're going to get in there with the Clan Rat Spears and Rat Ogres, and here it comes, Overcast, Howling Warpgale, locking down all these flying units, and it's worth noting that the Flamespire Phoenix only has 30 armor, so all this Slinger Fire is actually going to do some pretty effective damage here, not to mention, obviously, the Warp Lightning Cannons blasting away, and yeah, you can see already the Phoenixes and Alariel starting to suffer there. Pretty good stuff. We've been able to deal with most of the Reavers around as well, so we're starting to secure against my opponent's mobility, and we're definitely going to need to protect the Warp Lightning Cannons. You can see my opponent's going to come down and try and goon this one out. Not a whole lot I can do to stop that. We'd already lost 1 model to the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower anyway, so Alariel's going to go ahead and drop her healing on the Pigeons, but this is going to be a bit risky coming down to the ground, because obviously I have a pretty strong force of infantry nearby, and the Slingers also going to just be continuously firing away there. Looks like Arcane Unforging going down on Skrolk, giving him a bit of extra recharge time there and doing some direct damage. Great use of that Arcane Unforging. But unfortunately, Alariel's just taken a ton of damage here. She got hit by the Trophy Head, so her melee defense is in the pits. And she's getting smacked by Rat Ogres here, all the Slinger Fire, and oh, a little bit of friendly fire there from the Skaven Warp Lightning Cannon. But yeah, it's fine. That's fine. That's no big deal. You can see the routing cannon crew over on the side. This cannon, though, still secure. My opponent's Reavers and other mobile units don't really threaten too much, and infantry engagement is going to get underway here. We're going to get Clan Rats clashing with Spearmen. Definitely the fight of the gods, but in the center, these White Lions are just going to get punished hardcore by a heavy rush of Storm Vermin. We've got Skrolk in here applying the Rod of Corruption. Oh man, look at the Rat Ogres go too. Just absolutely brutal, ripping up these White Lions here, and they're going to get routed off in a big hurry. Been able to secure the Slingers as well. You can see there are some Reavers kind of threatening over on this side, but we're going to move these Rat Ogres around to help deal with them, and of course the Warp Lightning Cannon still blasting away in the distance. Some units did try and punch through on this pocket here, but we've got them more or less surrounded. Some Swordmasters, and it looks like some Reavers here being surrounded by Rat Ogres and Clan Rats, so going to be an uncomfortable situation all the way around. Storm Vermin are just kind of holding their ground. They'll obviously lose to Swordmasters, but it's more so about just holding them in place for the time being. You can see the Air Force tries to come down and goon Lord Skrull. He's going to go ahead and beat it, and unlike Tempest, Howling Warp Gale does affect flying units while they're on the ground, so all of these guys here are now locked into combat on top of this big Skaven blob, and I mean there are some Swordmasters here supporting. I will actually terrify away with the Terror from the Phoenix, obviously, some of the Rat Ogres and so on, but you can see Alarielle's going to get in here. She's just taking massive amounts of Slinger Fire, and all the Skaven heroes are ganging up on her as well. We've got Skrulk, the Assassin, even the Engineer getting in here as well. Good old reliable Engineer with his, man, he's got a pretty cool, like, halberd gun thing. But anyway, Alarielle's just taking a ton of damage right now. She's going to go ahead and drop her last Star of Averlorn there, but unfortunately she routes off, and it actually ends a bit early there, so that's really rough. Alarielle is going to survive here, but the other Phoenix is very, very low. You can see we just popped the other Liber Bubonicus on this this Phoenix. The first one had been popped on Alarielle early in the battle. It didn't quite catch it, but yeah, some serious damage going to be going down there, and at this point the balance power has tipped pretty decisively in my favor. That being said, of course, Elf leadership being what it is, they'll still continue to fight for some time, especially because Alarielle hasn't been quite finished off here, which is most unfortunate, but you can see the Swordmasters slowly cutting through the rats in the woods here, but this big kind of Skaven Death Star still very strong at the moment, just mopping up what's left of these Swordmasters here, and the Slingers are going to go ahead and get some more fire on Alarielle. We caught her with another Howling Warp Gale there. She's frozen in place and taking additional fire. Again, we're just going to try and keep her routed off as much as possible so she can't come back and drop healing. But here comes the Phoenixes coming around for another timing push. The Reavers kind of thrown in here a little bit. They're going to get just eaten up by this big Skaven Death Blob here. And more summoned Clan Rats going to be interrupting these High Elf Spearmen as they try and come support. These guys are going to get isolated and just dragged down by this big old Death Blob here. That being said, the Eagle Call Bolt Thrower is still online, still firing. It's managed to use up a lot of its ammunition. Alarielle just came back from routing as well, going to be healing herself a bit there. It's going to be tough though. I mean, this Phoenix is pretty close to its healing cap. This one not so much, but the High Elves have just lost so much at this point that it's going to be tough to come back. He is going to come over here with his flying units, and not a lot I can do to stop this. At this point, he's going to take out this Warp Lightning Cannon. It's all I can do to just more or less try and finish off the ground units here, so we're going to go ahead and shatter these White Lions, and then start to move the Death Blob up. We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit here as the Death Blob kind of moves over here. You can see the cannon does get chased off. The Spearmen do come in to try and support here, and I mean, obviously, all these High Elf units are relatively low armor, so they will be able to do a little bit of damage here. Nothing crazy, but yeah, two of the cannon models actually taken down there, but the cannon crew still relatively healthy, so we should be able to get them back online here momentarily. But the Slingers, man, Slingers just going to be absolute MVPs at this point. Going to get some really punishing missile fire here, and even the Skaven Slave Slingers going to generate huge value here because they're so cheap and they can have such a high volume of fire that they'll still do pretty effective damage, especially the lower armor targets. You can just watch Alarielle here. She's taking damage from the spears. She's going to be taking damage from the Slingers as well. The Pigeons come down and go ahead and finish off Lord Skrull. Again, not a whole lot I can do about this at this point, but I'm far enough ahead on the balance power that I figured it would be okay. So poor Skrull command goes down, roasted out by the Flaming Pigeons. But yeah, you can see likewise Alarielle has been shattered, and she did manage to get away with just barely 99 hit points there, so a little bit unfortunate, but nonetheless, we're going to be trying to finish off the last of the ground units here. One more Howling Warp Gale is going to lock these Phoenixes in place. Unfortunately, this one did get in a position where it can still drop the Flaming Phoenix Feces there, at least a couple charges to do a little bit of damage. But thankfully for me, the Slingers are going to be able to get some fire here, and we should be able to finish off one of the Phoenixes, that one that's very low. Meanwhile, you can see these Spearmen just getting rushed on by the Skaven Death Horde, and yeah, they're just going to get in here, and especially the Storm Vermin with the swords and shields. They're going to cut up these Spearmen no problem. You can see one Phoenix goes down, so 3 flyers down, 1 left to go, and there's not a whole lot of time left on the battle, you can see, so we should be able to finish things up pretty quickly. A few more casts of the Flaming Phoenix Feces, get some good kills on the Storm Vermin and the Clan Rats there, but yeah, it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. These Swordmasters rallying to the cause here are going to go ahead and get the good old rush. And you can see I have remounted the cannon. Going to go ahead and blast that Phoenix as it comes in. I know it's obviously going to come down and try and finish the cannon off, so I'm bringing the Rat Ogres over to support. And the cannon crew, thankfully, will get terrified and run away pretty quickly, leaving the Flamespire Phoenix a bit exposed, but you can see the Swordmasters getting finished off there. Thankfully, leadership being held together by the Warlock Engineer and this Assassin quite nicely, since we've lost Lord Skrolk. But the two Slingers still online here, one Skaven Slave and the Gutter Runners as well. Going to be finishing things off here with a bit of fire on this Flamespire Phoenix. You can see the artillery crew actually rallying to the cause here a little bit, but yeah. Very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. Skaven are a little bit of underpowered faction right now. I feel like they still can potentially be very strong, but they're just unfortunately not what I would like them to be. Definitely, they're out of all the factions, they're in the biggest need of their regiments of renown. So hopefully we'll see them soon. But yeah, definitely the Skaven are still alright in the meantime. Their playstyle still works okay, and they have lots of tools to deal with certain things. Howling Warp Gale really showed off its effectiveness in this game in particular. I always bring an engineer with Howling Warp Gale, if, you know, regardless of what lord I'm bringing, unless I've got a lord with Lore of Ruin who can use Howling Warp Gale himself. It's just so useful for locking down flying units, which can otherwise be a big problem to deal with as the Skaven. And one more Howling Warp Gale going to lock down the Flaming Pigeon there, and we'll finish off its leadership. So, a very fun battle, well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. In terms of the army breakdown here, you can see the Storm Vermin did alright. So did the Rat Ogres here, 55, 78, and 61. One of the Warp Lightning Cannons did manage to get an XP Chevron, and the Slave Slingers and the Gutter Runner Slingers didn't get a lot of kills. They were mostly focused on just firing at the flying squad the whole time. You can see we were able to limit the Phoenixes and Alariel quite significantly. Only 36 kills on the Phoenix, 20 and 20 for the other Phoenix, and then for Alariel. 159 in these Swordmasters. They managed to get some good work done and did cut through a unit of Storm Vermin, which is pretty cost effective. The rest of my opponent's army, though, unfortunately did underperform a little bit there. These Swordmasters did okay, just kind of got run over by the Death Blob there, and Skaven are one of those factions that can get a very powerful death blob going with you know, rat ogres and lots of infantry just swarming all over the place, so something to be careful of. But nevertheless, very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.